Good morning, garden friends. It is Monday morning, July 13th, 2020. The neighbors are doing some construction work, so I hope you can't hear it, but if you can, I apologize. However, I am overdue for a garden tour. We are between rainstorms, and so I thought it would be a good time to kind of take you through and tell you what's going on. The most exciting thing is the potatoes. I had been reaching under and not finding any potatoes, and so I was really worried. But this past weekend we were out working and my husband had his gloves on, and I said, "Can you really get in there and see what we have?" And he dug one plant up here and one in the other potato row, and there were lots of new potatoes on those plants. So that made me feel better. This, if you're just joining me, basically I put down a small layer of compost. I put my potatoes on the compost and then I just covered them in leaves. It's basically root stout. I'd never done that before, and so I was worried, and I shouldn't have been. The Kashaw are doing great. I don't know what these other two gigantic plants are. I just moved. You can see one branch looks a little wilty. I moved them because they were interfering with the potatoes, so I kind of turned them back on themselves. Once the potatoes are harvested, I may let them go crazy over on this side of things, but it depends what I decide to do with this bed once the potatoes are out. I do have a baby something. It is too early for me to tell exactly what that something is. Right here. So I'm thinking it could be a Cinderella squash, because the other possibility is a blue Hubbard, and I don't think that's what it is. So I'm hoping for Cinderella. All right, you can see in the next row over, I've got some lilies blooming. I was excited about that because I divided them this spring, which I think is the wrong time to do it, but they didn't seem to mind, which is great. So I'm going to, these will not stay here. This was kind of a hospital bed. They will be donated to next year's plant sale with the garden club, and then that'll free up a lot of space for growing. We've got some echinacea out, the Shasta daisies are out, I think that's a coreopsis is out. I don't know, I'll have to check and see what that is. I forget what those yellow flowers are. This is the other potato bed. This was more traditional. It was basically all compost, and I dug a trench and planted them and then covered them and hilled them and then put leaves on top is another form of hilling. This was the bed I planted way early in the spring. The kale I am harvesting, the calendula I'm harvesting. These two peppers were a late addition. They're mystery peppers. Something is eating all of my peppers. I don't know what it is. I don't think it's Japanese beetles because I haven't seen any. I have put slug and snail bait down, and that hasn't helped. I really don't know what it is because I'm here in the morning, I'm here at night. Like, I just don't see any signs of anything. So we're gonna attack it after this rain. I'm gonna spray neem. I've already put, before this rainstorm, I put some diatomaceous earth down. So we'll see. The lettuce here was basically useless because as soon as it was old enough to pick, it was bolting. This garlic will be harvested soon. I don't want to do it with the rain coming. We had rain this morning. There's more rain coming. So I'll let it dry out and then I'll harvest it. This is, I forget what kind it is in the front. The taller ones in back are an unknown variety from a local farmer. I should show you, we've got sunflowers out everywhere. I was dive bombed the other day by a hummingbird, which made me very happy. The zinnias are coming out, but I've been pinching them back so that the plants will branch and we'll get more flowers. I'm not going to go into the tomatoes because, like I said, we had rain this morning and they're wet, so I really don't want to get into them. I did harvest before the rain this morning. I had an early girl that was blushing. Actually, she was blushing yesterday. She was much more ripe today. Not quite 100% ripe, but I didn't want her to split because I didn't know how much rain we were going to get. So I did harvest her this morning. These are strike beans, which we have been harvesting. I just picked more this morning, so we'll be having those roasted. The girls love them roasted. I toss them in oil and salt and pepper and garlic powder, and they are just delicious. 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. Can't beat it. There's more kale down there that's been harvesting. We've got blue curled and we've got some flat leaf varieties, although my husband just said our favorite thing to do with kale is kale chips, and the curly varieties tend to make better kale chips because the oil and flavorings can stick to all the nooks and crannies. So I think I will be only planting curly varieties from now on. The squash, or the zucchini and summer squash, are going crazy. I harvest zucchini almost every day. The cukes at the end, actually it's kind of funny. I planted cukes in 3 different areas of this garden at 3 different times, and they all seemed to come in at once. So we are not inundated yet. We are just, getting a couple a day, enough to eat, but we will have more soon. Again, more tomatoes. Here we have more squash and volunteer tomatoes that came up from last year's plants. They were growing in the aisleways, so I just moved them here because nothing was growing here yet. So more cukes here on the trellis, tomatoes behind. Here are more beans. These are Blue Lake, I think, and they are just flowering. So I tried to plant beans at different times so that we would always have a supply. You can see down there, all of the cilantro has bolted, so I'm letting it go to seed. I will collect some of the seed, I will let it fall and reseed itself, and hopefully we'll get another batch in the fall. These were the last cukes that were planted, and they are producing just like the others, so go figure. I want to come down here and show you. These are Czech black peppers, and they're supposed to be very similar to jalapenos, and they are just beautiful. And like I said, I should show you. We've got jalapenos coming, but as you can see, something is just eating these leaves, and I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what it is. They don't seem to be bothering the cayennes as badly. That's not a ladybug. I don't know what it is. And here we've got blossoms all over the eggplant. Look at this! Excellent. That makes me happy. Clearly we have some sort of pest that poops. So I don't know. I don't oh, look at this. Look at. Okay. So I believe this might be an armyworm. I will have to ID it and get back to you, but this is the first time I've seen a pest here. So that gives me hope that now at least I know something and will be able to fight it. So I wonder if that's the same thing that's been destroying my peppers. I don't know. Peperoncinis here. I'm excited about those. I've never grown them before. These are sweet peppers that are again getting assaulted. This happened last year. The peppers did recover, so I'm hoping the same will happen this year. We've got more cayenne here. I love seeing the little pop of color from the nasturtiums. This last bed over here, I did harvest most of the garlic that was here. There's still some at the end. So that is curing. And then I knew the rain was coming, and so we weeded the bed, and we got 2 types of beans planted. We have dragon tongue here, and then past the sunflowers we have royal purple. So I'm excited for those. So I think that's it in a nutshell. Quick garden tour just to show you what's going on. Thanks to Facebook Memories, I am getting shots of what last year's garden looked like, and I just cannot believe how far ahead the tomatoes are. Last year at this time they were maybe 2 feet, but I've got some that are as tall as I am. The tomatoes are certainly earlier. My daughter got a cherry tomato yesterday off of one of the plants at home, and so that was 2 weeks earlier than last year. So hopefully the tomatoes will start. We've been inundated with raspberries. I've been picking at least a quart a day. My husband got close to 3 quarts the other day because I think that was the peak of it. The blueberries are just now starting to come in, so I made rhubarb jam and raspberry jam yesterday. I think I have close to 2 dozen jars, so I think we'll be filling the freezer now with those fruits. We actually will get another batch of raspberries in the fall. I have ever-bearing raspberries, and so they bear twice a year. So they're my favorite. They're Dad's favorite. Love having them. We are actually, if you can see where those weeds are now, we shallow tilled it. We put cardboard down and compost, and then covered it in wood chips, hoping to keep the weed pressure down. We are going to have to weed that bed, but next spring the plan is to take some of the raspberries from home and bring them up here so that we will have raspberries on this property as well. Okay, I think I'm gonna head in. It doesn't look like rain is imminent, but weather.com says it is. So hope you enjoyed our time in the garden. Hope you're getting your hands dirty. I will remind you that if you are planning to plant garlic in the fall and are going to order, do it now. Crazy things happened this spring with seed companies and supplies. And so if you are one of those people who orders garlic to plant, get it in now. I ordered some Softneck garlic from High Mowing Seeds. I like them because they have free shipping. My hardneck that I've only grew hardneck this year, and I'm going to be saving some of those bulbs to plant in the fall, but I did want to try some Softneck because it is better storing. And so I got my order in figuring better safe than sorry. So I guess that's it. On that note, I will show you this beautiful sunflower and call it a day. Bye.